Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa. I teach 10th and 12th grade history and I am new here to YouTube. One of the reasons that I decided to start a channel and to start making my own videos was because I've really been inspired by a lot of the different teachers that I've seen on YouTube and on Instagram lately. And so I figured it was a great opportunity to kind of join the club and to share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. This year will be my 7th year of teaching. I am in Michigan. And over the years, I've kind of put together my own set of tips and tricks that I was hoping to share with all of you. So, a long time ago, 7 years ago, when I started student teaching, I got a lot of good advice from my mentor teacher. And then, when I actually was hired and got a teaching job, my first couple of years at the school that I currently teach at, I had a number of different great mentors. And they were always helping me look for ways to quote unquote work smarter, not harder. And so, really, what they meant by that was trying to streamline a lot of the things that I do so that I'm not spending a whole lot of time doing unnecessary things. And when it came to lesson planning, I really did find myself doing a lot of unnecessary things and causing myself a lot more stress than I really needed. My first couple of years of teaching, I pretty much did what every teacher did when it came to lesson planning. I had a lesson plan book. Kind of like this one. This one, I'm just going to write in some rough outlines of some plans that I have for this year. But I wish I had one of my old ones, but those are all in my filing cabinet at school. But in my lesson plan book, I would write down the content that I wanted to teach, the standards that I wanted to hit, the different activities that I did, the different worksheets or the different readings or the different documents that went along with it. And while I was writing those things down, it was working. Eventually, it got to the point though where I had to edit a little bit of what I was doing on here, and then my plans kind of became a little bit of a mess. There would be erasing, I would have arrows, I would have to white out things, and it just did not look very pretty. And then as I moved towards the end of the year, I stopped being as detailed with my plans because, as you all know, the end of the year gets really, really busy. And so I would just write down maybe a couple of things or just a word here or there of things that we were doing. So then the next year, when I went back to look at those plans, at the beginning of the year, I had a relatively easy time. Towards the end of the year, things got a little bit rough. I would write myself a note like Vietnam worksheet. Great. Which Vietnam worksheet, Melissa? Which one? And I had no idea. And then I would have to sift through all of my binders and look at all the Vietnam worksheets and try to figure out exactly which one I had used. Sometimes I would take one of the worksheets out of my binders and then I would log into my computer to find that worksheet again, and it would be completely different. So I never knew which one I actually used and which one I gave to the students. So essentially, I had made it difficult to read my plan books. I had made it a hunt for the different activities, the different readings, the different worksheets that I was using, and I basically set myself up for a little bit of a mess. And that's when I decided, if everything's online already, if I'm making a lot of these worksheets online, why don't I just do a lot of my planning online? Then I know exactly which Vietnam worksheet I'm working with. So my school uses Google, and so we have a Google Drive account, and so I decided that I was going to make myself a calendar on Google Docs, and I was going to link every single thing that I used on the day that I used it, write myself some notes, type myself up some things, and I would have a much more clean layout for planning, and I would have more direction on what exactly it was that I did, what things that I used. And so that really made my life a lot easier. And also, using Google Docs means that I could access my plans anywhere from my cell phone, from a tablet. I didn't have to carry around a lesson plan book all the time. It also meant that I could add notes. It also meant that I could share that document with the teachers that I was working with the other 10th grade teachers, with the other 12th grade teachers. But it also meant, too, that I could share that information with the 9th grade teachers, with the 11th grade teachers. We could see as a whole what sorts of things the students were working on at the same time. And so it made all types of planning, horizontal planning and vertical planning, that much easier. And it also made it really easy to collaborate with my peers, with the other teachers that I work with. And all around, it just made life so much easier. So today I'm going to show you my screen in a couple of seconds, and I'm going to show you exactly how I go about planning my lessons online. Okay, this is what my screen looks like when I log into my Google Drive, and you'll see that I have a variety of different folders and whatnot. But right now, the files that I want easily accessible are all of the calendars that I have laid out right here. I have the upcoming school year calendar. I have my schedule from 2017 and 2018. I also have my 2018-2019 schedule. And then I have started working on a schedule for next year. So really what I do to have my planning done all online is just create a Google Doc. This is simply just a new Google Doc that I have gone through and made a grid on. And the grid is separated by each week of the school year. Starts with August. We go back to school Thursday, August 15th. And in this first week, I have all the dates laid out, and I have some of the things that I'm doing. I have some of my own kind of like color coding happening. And then I have it separated into my American Studies class, which I abbreviate AMS. And then I also have it separated into my 12th grade senior history class, which we call DP2 history. And then I have gone through and updated the dates from last year. The reason why there's a lot of spacing in this area is because I have yet to update all of this stuff. So really I just go through and make a weekly calendar. And I'm going to have to go through and switch this. I had a little bit of a medical issue last year. That's why you'll see that the schedule switches from October to January because I was not in school during those times. And so this is kind of my clean canvas for me to work on. And then I also go back through and I use this calendar to put in the special days on this calendar anytime that we have an early release or we have a staff meeting or we don't have school, something like that. Like I said, I've only done August so far, but I intend to go back and put all of those important dates on this calendar. Then what I also like to do is I'll go back and I'll take my previous year's calendar and I can copy and paste some of the things that I used in the past into the new calendar. So this was my calendar from last year. I have all of my different assignments linked on here. So I can just click on something like the map of the United States and it'll show me exactly which document I used, which I found really helpful. So I can go through here and I can see all of the things that I did. I can link everything, things that I want to use, different things that I want the students to read, different assignments that I want them to do when we have a no homework weekend, so I know when I'm not allowed to assign homework and things like that. And so everything that I use is linked here, which is really, really nice. I really like that. I have quizzes that I've linked here, so I can easily access my quiz folder and to see this is making me laugh. Last day I was here because I went to the hospital and was sick forever. But I can see which exact items that I used, and it just makes it really helpful. I can see everything all in one place. So I know what I was doing in American history and I know what I was doing in the diploma program course. It also made it easy to plan too, because if I knew that I was having like a really heavy week in the diploma course, that I could maybe ease back on a little bit of the things that I was doing in the American history course. So that way the grading wouldn't be too overwhelming. And then I can also go back and see what I did a couple of years ago and to see if there's anything that I used this year that I didn't use the last year. You definitely don't have to go back and use all of your previous years. Sometimes just the prior year is enough, but I like to go back and take a look at some things and then relink them on here. The other thing that I do is I'll go through and I will link this exact document on Google Classroom. The first couple of times I did this, I was not smart and I forgot to take off the links for the quiz. And so the students quickly found out that they had access to some of the quizzes, which is not a good thing. That was definitely a learning lesson. But I can go through on Google Classroom and then I can link this. Or sometimes what I would do is I would make Google Slides. I think on this one, I had some slides linked. And then you can upload kind of like your warm-up. This will load. You can upload your warm-ups as a slide, and then you can put that onto Google Classroom. So that's it. It's so easy. Using internet planning, whether you use Google Drives or whether you use something else to help you plan, definitely helps you work smarter, not harder. It helps cut down the amount of time that you have to spend when you're going through and looking for things while you're lesson planning. It helps you know exactly which activities, which documents, which readings, which worksheets you did. That way you're not stuck looking through all of your materials just looking for that Vietnam worksheet. I can't believe I did that. But hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully maybe you'll decide to integrate some of this into your own planning. Even still, with all the online planning, I still normally revert to some sort of paper lesson plan book, just in case the internet ever happens to go out or something like that. I still have some plans in front of me and things like that. If you like this video today, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're interested in receiving more tips and tricks from me, please hit the subscribe button. And hopefully this year of teaching goes really well for you. Bye!